was a got to her body where enslaved by its tenacious gravity was black and that other was not. I felt with an honest relation between the other one and me. A profound cruelty which infused a desire to unshackle my body. The boy with the small eyes reached into his ski jacket and pulled out a gun. There the boy stood with the gun in his small eyes. I saw him surging raised that good. And it instantly erased my body and felt myself drowning in the new sports word. I knew in this theory but couldn't understand his back until the boy stood with his small eyes holding me, holding my entire body in his hands. Rocky had been shot. I thought I was going to lose my mind and go crazy. I felt sick. I felt like I was dying. We don't understand that we are embracing our own death. This allows paranoia to be forced into the psyche of black people in America, self-alienation, and allows radical rates of death within the community to be absurdly high. Roberto, 14 black Americans are more than twice likely to have been once the West. Between 2000 and 2010, the difference is used firearm related injuries with more than 18.5 per 100,000 more glass, but only 9 per 100 in the gun last report. White for all the races was just 3.5 per 100,000 death rate of social firearms is more than 13.5 times for African Americans. That is the white saying results replicate of the black and black crime in our hometown in Newark, New Jersey. Very old 6 killings in as many as people in Newark City officials over searching for responses by killing the city bells. Or during the 66 people were killed last week in a search of potatoes and other homicides. 5 of them in a rough span of 36 hours as well. August 23rd, 2014, people have been injured by gunshot in Newark. A 30% increase over 2014. And despite the geographical distance, places like Baltimore, Chicago, Philly, Detroit, and Newark find themselves in these same cycles of black death. The authorization of the black objects solidified in terms of white attitude towards black lives, despite all evidence pointing the other way, pushed back against firm gun regulation of rooted in apathy, and the same for black people. O'Brien, 13 symbolic reasons associated with gun-related attitudes and behaviors in U.S. white supposed strong gun for more than all other racial groups, despite a much greater likelihood that white people kill themselves with guns, black on black homicide rates will benefit from most gun reform and so support these reforms, even if whites do not symbolic racial police with a long spending gun ratio and paradox attitudes towards gun control in the U.S. white, despite certain policy changes, but essentially benefiting whites, anti-black prejudice leads them to oppose their implementation. The findings consistent with previous research finding that showing some officers associated with the opposition to U.S. policy that may benefit blacks and support the policy that disadvantaged by gun relations at the U.S. are a significant public health concern, representing a leading consequence that by attitudes towards guns many U.S. whites appear to be influenced by illogical racial biases. Gun control policies may need to be implemented independent of public opinion. The implementation of initially under public health initiatives has proven effective for other public health threats. For example, tobacco taxation ban on smoking on public areas, seatbelt use that initially did not have widespread public and political support, but have eventually been popular and have led to change in attitudes. Now the O'Brien 13 evidence indicates that we don't have gun laws to help black on black crime because even though white Americans know it benefits them and black people anti-black illogical prejudices allows them to say no, forget it, we'll let the violence in black on black communities continue. Bottom line, if it was white on white violence like it is in Chicago or New York, the Second Amendment would have been abolished years ago. And at a young age, black people are told that their lives are disposable. The life expectancy of black people is 25 to 35, meaning they're put on death row from birth. Black on black violence is rooted in the reactions to the way that sewage of white supremacy is shoved in the throats of black community. Wilson, 9. Black and black criminality and violence represents special power and outrage protests against other sense of power and insignificance. They are protective fetishes used to defend against things of helplessness and motivate. Black and black violence is reflective in an attempt to achieve basic positive human ends in a negative environment. By negative means it represents an often misguided struggle for self-affirmation by many African Americans with entangled in white Americans once to the white, specifically designed to construct to accomplish this affirmation. Now the Wilson 9 evidence indicates that we are not blaming black people for black and black crime. We don't condemn it, but we do understand white supremacy and trapping them into these damn communities with poverty and drugs and policing allows them to have to result in this internalized racism. As a result, black people have internalized position, and as a result, violence and has to internalize the feelings of helplessness and vulnerability. And our argument is real. Chicago has some of the most restrictive gun laws in the country, but it still has the most black on black crime. Why? That's because without a national ban, states with blacks gun laws can get guns smuggled into Chicago. This is how whiteness operates, by passing gun laws on a state level and giving the image of how, we just told them to stop shooting each other, but they keep doing it without recognizing the government is cognitively framing black people as thugs by not taking steps to actually get guns into those cities, but without a national ban. Cook 15, where President Obama suggested that Indiana and other states have few gun restrictions are going to Chicago's homicide primarily. If Franco geopolitically, the Chicago police have walked away by a steady stream of illegal firearms from neighboring Indiana where gun control laws are must be good. Those who criticize any gun safety laws are reforming to my hometown. The problem with the argument is that it comes out of the state, you just got to hop across the border. Authorities found that nearly 60% of legal guns recovered in the state from 2009 to 2015 were sold in for more lax gun laws. Indiana accounted for 90% of legal guns in Chicago. This makes it incredibly easy for gun traffickers, violent offenders, and other prohibited creatures to buy guns and take Indiana lawmakers have shown no appetite for cover gun laws. Thus the plan. The United States federal government should ban the ownership of private sovereignty. The gun makes internalized racism deadly. The affirmative is the only way to create a foundation for actions to combat negative tropes and dehumanization of the self that exists within the black community. We will never solve internalized racism. Rather, the gun is the tool in which that racism gets explicated in the real world. Getting rid of the tool decreases the chance for that fear to turn into material death. Page 14. A negative perception of self is another reason for firearm violence. A study of young African American males found that participants who had high level of internalized racism were more likely to engage in violent behaviors than those who had lower levels of internalized racism, described as the acceptance rate of negative African American stereotypes leads to an experience of self-degradation, alienation, which incorporates the shame of African American identity culture. The overall propensity for violence model found that internalized racism was a significant particular violence having the large effect size among all other grounds. Now this study is amazing because it does a specific analysis of how internalized racism in conjunction with the firearm leads to different violence, which means people never solve internalized racism, but getting rid of the firearm gets rid of a tool in which that racism is explicated. And We live in a world in which black people die in Charleston, we get Obama singing Amazing Grace, and it's all good. After San Bernardino, we get an executive order for gun control. The American Jew is predicated on a continued license to kill and ignore the struggles of black folks in this country. We need to act now. As the O'Brien evidence says, we need to act outside of popular opinion, because it was never meant to include black bodies, which is why the goal about it is the best paradigmatic approach to deconstruct against blackness. Curry, 14 WC, the church is making social practice and confidence when I did the leads of the two natural problems, and how we finish the most often creating to compare the system, the actions of this, and what we consider, or but the different is happening with his actual was real, what is represented, the representative of the combination of practice, and be raising our social, which necessitates the policy, and rebuilding our value, so we can access the various forms of social problems that come by once a day, the dialogue, the favorite, social, the vacuum, the feminism, or most. Racism, capitalism, systematic oppression, these things will always exist. The affirmatives understand how do we create modes of survivability to engage with these things.
Okay, why does black on black crime occur?
We think white supremacy has trapped black people into specific communities in which they are denied funds, they're denied basic positive human rights, which is our Wilson 90 evidence, which allows them to survive, internalize fear for each other, and that allows them to.
So, which part of the act qualifies as people that are internalized racism?
So here's the thing. I think it's a pretty hard standard to just say the act has to solve internalized racism.
And so
the solvency, let me explain. The Payton 14 study is really good because it indicates in these black communities, black men are more likely to shoot each other because they have access to a gun and they have internalized racism. The argument is getting rid of the gun gets rid of the tool that is able to use that internalized racism and kill it.
Right, I get that, but why is the gun the only tool?
We have a lot of statistics that in Newark, 5 people died in 36 hours.
Sure, I agree with you that guns are a part of violence. Why are they being told to be part of violence? Why would we just switch?
Well, the topic is about handguns, so we talked about
handguns. My question is a little bit more detailed. Like, why is it that internalized racism exists, that the gun is a tool by which we use?
So this question assumes the act can solve internalized racism. That will never happen. Rather, we are trying to solve a material death from internalized racism, but our study says that it's amalgamated with the gun.
I have a question. Can gun violence get worse? That's right.
No, 5 people dying in 36 hours, you think she's going to get worse?
Why can't it get worse?
I mean, you could prove that, but 5 people dying in 36 hours.
Why can't it be 6 people dying?
Really? So now we're going to calculate Utah. 6 black people died over 5 black people. You're not dealing with the systematic way in which white supremacy has allowed this to occur. So really, that's where epistemology comes around. Oh, if 6 black people died, you should go next.
Well, if the other
really?
5 black people died, it seems fairly...
No, because you're comparing it in numbers, but rather the systematic ways in which the O'Brien 13 evidence says the black person has been otherwise.
What is the implication of the term evidence?
That there are values embedded within civil society. These are values that are embedded in structures. A paradigmatic approach understands we have to use these structures to create policies that lead to value orientation.
I guess that makes sense. So then, do material conditions come first then?
Yeah, material conditions, you don't just magically get value. Our argument is that if we change the materiality of black and black crime, there's a value for black lives in the community because it's a national.
I guess, could you unpack that a little bit?
So
what is the materiality of black and black crime?
Well, the materiality one is the materiality of black on black death in significant numbers. Our argument is that we don't value their lives because we don't have a national ban. Because we let Indiana get away with getting guns into Chicago, but we try to say, oh, we have gun laws in Chicago. The argument is with a national ban, we are reducing material death and putting a value for black lives because we're stopping illegal markets all across the country.
Does it have any impact on symbolic racism? So a bunch of your cards are tagged with symbolic racism, have all the impacts on the community.
You gotta get the gun. I think if you're saying the Speech Act, I'm not gonna say
no, not Speech Act, not Speech Act.
The gun is symbolic, but the gun is also tangible because it's death. Top of the states counterpunch takes the 15 United States government should do the affirmative, we defend unified enforcement, guns for policy should pass to the states, passing federal policies, inefficient and unenforceable, clacking 86, a ban on ownership against states as much autonomy as possible, federal control is less satisfactory because there has been a very limited federal law enforcement apparatus set up in the election that's on all sides, pointing Hillary to decisive favor right now, but Trump isn't impossible, and 10 and 329, Trump can beat his Muslim, but Obama's even more popular, Obama's still rating 50% highest in 2 years, for better or worse, Clinton's up running for Obama's return right now for better, Obama is looking to follow, but of course, Trump's favorite reading 30 cents favorable 60 Trump might get more popular after Cameron and more bookings are carrying better, but it seems likely that Trump would be so much more than Reagan was. Fans will rightly point out even if Trump were to do that, probably would still have a good shot. But Clinton is also unpopular with favorability. Even since that is less just like the Trump policy is expanding. Clinton has 11 last 26. In the last 26, Clinton has led 10% now by a little more than 10% doesn't mean Clinton would blow out Trump or Trump can't come back, but Trump will have to climb a far steeper Trump plan for the presidency. And so 12-3 fires also supposed to put the word to Obama was reported talking about better people who Clinton got to listen to them. So obviously political risk, the gunners and mobilize will heavily put in the 2016 elections is good. Produce an outcome that is similar to Gore's defeat and GOP victory leads to warming. World population spikes, the energy prices cinder in 15 or plus the red house in 15, fighting climate change, encouraging the agenda of encouraging green and regulatory and dirty energy, short-listing the affordability of renewable renewables. Republicans would immediately reverse these to make the track errors, cost of carbon to go here and more menacing and warming cost extinction, Ferris and 13 and warming is occurring faster, right? From mounting and looking forward to life usage, conversion trends of inadequate negative effects, including droughts, declining and flooding, and migration of the consequences of the conflict when it comes to the changes in fish stock, climate change, deforestation, climate change, so climate change left with the reason that we come to the disease, the well-being, anyways, the reason that also affects the death of every single black person is obviously impacts the framework and environmental structure, the form of structural muscles, going to continue to metric all inequalities, foreign and climate change, the issues of the issues, race, oppression, low community, murders, and climate, African Americans are vulnerable, health, housing, and social being, cultural, disability, climate variability, warming, and inequalities, inequalities, warming, causes racial responsibility, the high African American population, resembling the American African American sufferer. He does have 200 separate for whites, and Trump presidency was beyond that undisputed embodiment of modern racism and Islamophobia. They do in 16 Trump declaration from the very area can take the sprung. Trump's losing letter proposal drawing a biggest coordination of funding from the state program is 1% of Islam property to the program. Trump did the cultivated for a very company on bill, U.S. racism into a time where it was very American. Trump got into the first one. Is for Trump to represent propaganda and theory embodiment of modern racism. U.S. and relies on racism and racism on both sides. Trump demolishes any semblance of gun control sergeant in 16 prompting he would end gun control. Is no more gun-free zones. Trump makes it impossible for the farms to realize that we're overriding with the law a goal of unrighteousness. That's often the neo-libertarian first, the absolute issue, legal situations, that kind of policy, neo-libertarian engagement, which involves uncautioned, far bottom, 15, the way cotton study offers were in the midst of promising that the American second, the state bills and stories containing one of the least unskilled and the capitalist industry, FC and 14 laws passed 7 of them are more less results in a rescue what the mortgage of that to a lot of Americans more time to take a cut of 5 now. This entire sector of making money when they try to compile with living laws. The debate is about starting points. The idea of gun control apart from the forces of the alternative must be a two-pronged approach. First, take control of the protect on the guards and most of the second community-based firearm regulation, which is necessary for your access to zero and killing 14 what it is a popular which is that one control and anti-revolution focus metro between control of gun control which is society. What might be the description of what you get to the only needed to have the concept of community-based farm regulation takes the legal for 6 ability to consume and co-op to take darky and 14 graphics back in the with the state, the only effort is still higher than the book of the black public incoming fire versus community fire versus agriculture and organizations being subject to the state fully important and first example is carrying above the possible practice and deliberately publicly distributed the proposal subject to the Alexander and small infrastructure means labor for labor and land, with voluntary immigration classic card at immigration now. DK 2 to 3 for your CCR days. You try to start dealing with what you need to do the conditions and after respecting any which are advanced anywhere linked to the seriously think about the includes the card after there cannot be any quantitative increase in balance or after the one that are related to the third conclusion. The structure you can clearly on things can get worse. Early for the 1950s was something was determined more or less than 2 years ago. One of them is them wrong. Curry in a on balance for very social in American history from the undergone a sea change. This shift has driven many effective increase of voices, doing everything from the world of order. I'm not putting out from making sure in the house of solely rising the important economic factors the time the majority of African families across or above. This round of making such a progress to back on the party got smaller. Residential Americans are encouraging and these move through the state concept of the neighbors are unique claim. Because I think it's something they say so Chicago to the state social work, but they really get us into a lot of state actions is not negative representative unifies that actions are insight is not responsible then. This is going to be a direct massive preparation board. Let's go these training times are going to be seen and we'll take and look at these corporations after the store looking for the time. You know the shift to come to the macro number doesn't affect the perspective government working with the intention to the is working with the state nature essentially a function of the world part of racial and equal or turning back to using rising contribution and some sort of report or racial last time you have to see the full level of the formula to obtain calculation here from the Latin was primarily approach so these people had to the Latin it was one of the two directions used from practice of the looking at the consumption practice of like the breaking hospital the business community support the research goes to the house and last practice on state and it was substitute this village but on a few something you could that they had them better walking them in the shot off at the blood first to the more no more to the they can pop off so long as it's more deadly fucking to graphic fucking to the hangers or hanging like the people that's all that we book that more than that's something that very lot of people like the something to 100%.
On the you'll locate the very last card, this type of voluntary immigration, which is almost what everything about the card. And then I did not read anything below the flat evidence, and I didn't read the analytic question.
All right. Is everyone good? So can you go for one of them if you want? Okay. Let's talk about the K. Your argument is that in the alternative, we need to have a community-based way of dealing with gun regulation. Can you name me 3 communities that want to deal with stopping black on black crime?
3 communities that want to deal with stopping black on black crime.
Yeah, that would solve it.
Well, I think that the power of fiat.
No. I want specific communities that are actually interested in doing something about
fiat. Yeah, I think the power of fiat is more powerful.
Wait, so what are you fiat? What community are you fiat? I'm feeling that.
So, for example, local communities such as.
What local community?
Oh, okay, like for example, inner city community.
What is the name of the community?
Baltimore, New York community.
Baltimore is a
right.
city. What is the name of the community?
Right. So
some sections you don't even know goddamn section of Baltimore.
So
why is your alternative practical if you can't even name me a community that wants to do that?
I think you're misunderstanding the power of fiat. I don't think you have to be able to name specific subsections.
So wait. We can fiat things without naming what we are fiat.
Again, fiat have to have specific names which have to describe the nature of the argument. Like,
the nature of the argument. So you need an actor in fiat, bro.
Yes,
like
I agree.
Local communities.
Local communities. So I would say districts is an example.
Let's go to DigiSet. So if Trump is president, he's going to stop black on black crime. If Trump is president, he's going to do something about the act.
No.
So then why do we care?
Because Trump would make things worse than the status quo.
Why?
Because he would roll back any other gun regulation. He would increase surveillance. He openly advocates Islamophobia. He wants to deport people.
Okay.
So
then let's deal. Okay. So then let's deal with the link evidence, which is 2 lines. The plan stops the presidency. This is from after President Obama already passed an executive order for gun control.
Yes,
hold on. And more people went to the left. Hillary's and Bernie numbers actually went through the roof after that executive gun control. Why is the reason that they will go to the right after a gun ban?
Sorry, can you repeat the question about
So after executive order for gun control, after San Bernardino, more people went to the left. Hillary's and Bernie numbers increased. Why does the plan, which is even more left than Obama's gun regulation, force liberals to vote for Trump?
We disagree with the first part of that. We don't think anyone's more liberal than the part of all that claim. The second thing is that we looked at the executive order for different views on the law. Okay.
Let's talk about the uniqueness evidence. What's the warrant?
In the set
Yeah.
or the case. So it indicates that Hillary is inextricably tied to Obama's popularity. Right now, it's high, but it is subject to change.
Why does that mean gun control will subject?
Because our link evidence qualifies that.
Okay, she's up 10 points. Why will she be down 10 points?
Because gun control is not going to be unpopular. Our link evidence says voters actually switch. And it also says that the Trump that gap is like much less, is much larger than actually because of things like the primary and split votes.
Case, counterclaim, pay, is yeah. It's the same file at a section. Case, kind of plan, A.
You've conceded a level of uniqueness in this round that gun control is a public health concern, which means we have not dealt with the specificities of our arguments. In the Creed 14 is that we have to have tangible policy to rewrite our value choice in a one which we did not have a policy to now show how the creature alternatives on that, that's a disaffiliation extends to O'Brien 13 evidence that was functionally conceded that says independent of public opinion, whatever the Republicans say, there needs to be gun control because of white ideological racial biases stops us from having this conversation, which is a reason why the affirmative is a unique voting issue extent. The Wilson 90 evidence there is an internalized racism view that the affirmative cannot solve for, or the diseconomic any worse, which is a reason only the athletes of external plans is we stop, we get on something in India, Chicago by having a national name, not to the specificities of why the argument is good now on the first on the government talking one not unique Chicago, already extra gun law, so criminalization is already happening, not one, a link to financial or bring impact fees by things will get worse, since 5 in 36 hours. Also, your argument about you think how things will get worse is from 2008. We're talking about good people already dying in 2014, which means you have what, and even the second ourselves, yeah, this page 14 says that internalization is manifest in the physical world through the use of the handling, meaning if we get rid of that, so we get rid of the ability to explain internalization to an extent. This means policing ourselves is a higher question dealing with other factors than what will be policing since some point is not only can be someone clears up the ability to focus on other issues, bring up issues to be why we're going to police. We don't care about how we're killing, or we don't care about over-criminalization where we're killing ourselves. As long as we start killing as long as we start caring about ourselves, then we can focus on over-criminalization. Also, no substitution effect. It's the long guns are harder to conceal. You don't. This is an analytical argument, and you can't just substitute places. And you get, for example, Chicago. People don't just have the money to substitute. There's not a reason why you solve. You don't have any offense on the case, or a reason why the case will go bad. All the counterplan first. The cook just had the guns are getting from India to Chicago, which means if you give the states all their autonomy, they'll do whatever they want. Permutation at federal standards, and how the state follow those standards is a unique reason. The second one won't by Texas won't pass the same policy as New York. Won't get evaluation separate but equal. That's a racist decide that states have advantage. Second vote, non unique states would enforce the act anyway. So this is not a reason you can solve the count plan. This does not solve any part of the affirmative. You're one which you're gonna solve the fundamental question. Critique. Process was embarrassing. You don't know one day of that community that actually, well, this is a lot of my problem. This is exactly what the critique never functioned in the context of our argumentation. You don't want to do anything to solve the lack of harm. You just want to have a big alternative permutation. Well, if you want to have community values, then we should all also have state values. The net benefit is that we have more people. Also, some of those communities can be capitalistic. You haven't shown that those communities will not avoid capitalism. Your root cause, you can consider the root cause possible in the Creed 14 that is that leads that table condition, even though because those systems are never. You say gun control fuels capitalism, so does everything. Black on black crime will not be solved by capitalism. That is a reason why we can solve. You say fairly pure, everything is wrong. We understand critique, but we have functions as a link term because we have to do something except critique. This that. Trump lost in Neverland, LA time today. The 600 people that were vying for Saturday for $1 billion for the Republican National Convention to the Cruz campaign wants to ensure that these politicians, their candidates, so Trump is one more vote. So he stands up for children of the GOP nomination because now he has to launch ignore the most recent taxes or places to Ukraine. Well, their Cruz campaign has announced that Trump, the representative organization, that Cruz can vote this success, or because that Trump loses the black vote Hillary, well, loser, which means you don't never solve even if he gets to the general. Atlantic Trump, Trump that will win over black men, certainly he's not only by far the Republican passion chief double, but the idea that Trump will succeed when no GOP can't succeed. So Richard Nixon in 1960 was fine, especially the running campaign fueled by appeals of racial anxiety, hostility, xenophobia, economic distress, but although Trump has provided more than enough funds to the black voters that the spectacle campaign is the range of both is very exaggerated existing crisis with the GOP comes from there, which means all your impact evidence is reason why black people never vote for Trump because he will cause structural extinction, because he will cause warming on the screens, which means that whatever happened finally caused by the O'Brien 13 evidence, this does not show why the status quo can get worse. We need to act now in a road which you have not want to link to show how people do it hitting that manipulation on your warming impact. Warming is already happening on racialized communities, but we never talk about that and talk about the negative consequences. So focus on how things will get worse. Why? They failed it. They show racial guilt to get voice. It's racial equality, abstract with the day-to-day into environmental education. People of left gain weight. They marginalize black around folks within the movement. They reinforce racial division, inequality, undermine the ability of the green movement to gain strength. They reinforce white voters connected on the borders in simple words. Anybody comes from there, which means this should be classified as why your epistemology of the dissent is already flawed. There's problems already in the black and white. You don't solve warming. You just say, well, guess what? Just like black and white crime is happening right, you don't solve that. And the current 14 that should come is that we abstract away from those material discussion when we focus on something as bad as thinking. That's not me, black and white social there.
Okay. The wise current is coming out. Wait, the first one says a losing nomination. The Ted Cruz is already coming up, which means much more likely to get to a brokered convention because there's no chance to secure the delegates. The second part says even if he does get there, Trump will lose the black vote because no president has won the black vote since Richard Nixon. And the reason we prefer our evidence is because your argument is Hillary's losing popularity, but it's not contextual to black voters that she has won astonishing amounts against Bernie Sanders. Oh, and the last part of the argument was all your impact evidence is inherency for why black people will not vote. That's what cause like that.
Just give me an overview, then each case argument, and then the case. Oh, shoot, they also.
I'm kicking both of my attitudes and just going for the status quo. It seems like a ballsy move, I know, but Amit literally conceded every single case answer without real response to the start on the Gower evidencing only response that he happens criminalization is already happening, already uniqueness and his answers obviously get this out. Yes, gun violence is really better than the status quo, but can obviously get worse. He says it's just a number count. The problem is that our evidence isolates that equality. There is a trend towards equality. The current evidence is that there were trends towards equality in the past 15 years. Would you rather be in the 1950s or today? Was this tournament more or less inclusive 10 or 20 years ago? The answer is obviously yes, because we have arguments like it's obviously more common right now. Second is that criminalization outlets case the affirmative an excuse for police to target black voters and stop racism, etc. There is no argument for it. There's already excuses to stop racism because the affirmative massively increases stopping certain things like that. The only argument that go for is that internalized racism outweighs the problem is the 1AC and 1AR don't make any solvency plans for internalized racism. Obviously, if they're being targeted more often, that further the sort of system that institutes racism and tells them that they're less than the white man. The second answer is that why it's the same thing. There's a reason why internalized racism is a larger impact than the direct criminalization that is happening from the sort of stop and search and stop and the strategy of the police. Now, the second argument, in other words, the actual evidence sort of conceded it indicates that the people who are most likely to have their guns taken away from them are black voters, which makes them uniquely targets by white people. It indicates that black people are like 8 times more likely to be impacted by homicide and rape, which means that if they don't have access to guns, they can't defend themselves. Essentially, the point is that it's like some Garrison cases where violence against black people only increased as a result of policies like the affirmative. The last argument to go for, and the most damning argument, is the gun substitution argument, which he makes two responses to. The number one is concealability, and the number two is cost. The problem is that our card literally preempts both of this. The concealability argument indicates that sawed-off long guns, shotguns, and long guns in general are sufficient to solve. They're not just as concealable. You just saw off the long part, and after the cost argument, it also literally says that long guns and rifles and shotguns are just as expensive and would not lead to any sort of difference. Now, even if you think he wins this argument, this survey says 72% of these sort of people whom we were talking about who would say it's sad they would switch long guns and shotguns, which means it assumes all the arguments. Now, even if you had 100% substitution, because long guns can be up to 10 times as deadly and 3 to 4 more times as likely to kill. The point is that we just substitute to other guns, and the card literally preempts the two arguments that you made. Gun deaths would only increase because shotguns and long guns are more likely to kill. Now, this also means that all of it, the last thing that I have to win here is that conditions can get worse. Now, the two areas going to be a lot of grandstanding. Remember that we have evidence on this question today. Do not. There is obviously possibility for things to get worse. This tournament has gotten a little more inclusive, even if it's a little bit. Gun culture can get a little worse. You have to win absolute uniqueness in order to win. That is an absurdly high standard from the affirmative, considering they have no evidence qualifying any of their claims. So O'Brien evidence does not say that the status quo cannot possibly get worse. Now, the dissat is also pretty clearly flowing negative. The first card is Trump looks all against stuff that happened last week. Linger in 4-5. Another defendant, you very excited from which he's still into nearly 300 delegates. He's still on track to win big in New York and the delegate which states that he's supposed to come in weeks. Trump is ultimately talking about honestly right the past 4 weeks. That millions of Republican voters continue want Donald Trump to be party not be president. Also, our evidence indicates that despite setbacks, he's not even having popular in order to win. It assumes your evidence. One of the evidence is that all voters and even all pundits accept that even if you're not popular, you still have a good chance to win the election, which assumes all of your answers that Trump that week will cost an election. That's for your evidence analysts. Anyways, Ingram and 4-3 Donald Trump that week still all the Trump taking counter on the very orchestrated NFL Donald Trump's role play. He's helping with the GOP. He's helping with the skills for most of the time. I'm much tougher than the race that they get now, and they're ready to play. He's helping much later. Trudeau, Drew Stone will win because the Republican Party will have a little something that's conservative for convenience and extending unique evidence. They overestimate the rigidity of American politics. Yes, Clinton is the favorite right now, but they can easily change if it's intervene. What kind of cost some shit that destroys Clinton's strength in the campaign and elections will normalize the primaries and still burn all of your degrees to the United States. The second card, Trump would win in a general election. Trump could win in a general election. We win with the Trump general election. Numbers sort of backwards, but we know they're really terrible. He was in 1 century against the numbers of people on the much election numbers are certainly not been all that predictive. If he does well, maybe we'll do good enough voting directly. Instead, Marvel comes to the statesman, Trump becomes possible, that we'll have a close enough election. I mean, I have a trust for the investor. you're not in the process. And now the demographics are, that he makes the demographics don't lock the election. Wasserman in 12-3, if every demographic scores Democrats use the national level and Democrats advance electoral process can often display these processes international level all which the Democrats do well also use for 30% for the people who electoral votes. The province from your Democrats in the electoral college, which is voting the country considered non-resident like California, New York, and Texas, South African voting for return to one eleven percent of Florida, the overall market should be cut by half by Ohio, Virginia, giving them all with no room for error. Now, the last part of the answer is your sort of epistemology that the problems that we discussed warming in the context of racism says, which is the reason why any risk of the dissent is negative, because the A point you consider that it would literally roll back in front of every single gun control policy like it was. Trump actually advocates that every single zone should be gun free, which means that there's literally no offense to 0.01 risk of the extent happening. Number two is that they have conceded that Trump would cause mass racism and Islamophobia from the affirmative. That openly advocated things like surveilling Muslims and black people and says that people in communities should support them, which massively outweighs the affirmative. It's not just a single policy. Last argument we go for is that warming exacerbates every single racial inequality because of the card that he reads in the 1AR. The point is that the just also always affects everywhere in the world, not just the United States, which exacerbates every single type of inequality. Black people are denied the ability to have the sort of resources to fight warming or any kind of like heat losses and drought, etc. The link card was conceded indicates that the half is used above the election. Listen, the only argument I can remove it is the status quo can't get worse. We have proven that it will get worse with all of our specific case answers and also our unique answers. We have a card that gives you nothing.
Where do you cut walls on
I do not put one.
Okay, and just
Yes, I'll do it.
Got 10 seconds. Case is on. On case, what do you want? Okay, go with it.
Your argument on the case debate is that things will get worse. We don't even have to win that things may not get worse. We just have to prove that there's no link to your certain on the garbage argument. You say it's just a number of times. You have conceded our example that Chicago already has these gun laws and there's not that much mass criminalization in Chicago, which means you conceded a level of uniqueness that in the status quo there's already strict gun laws in specific communities and there's not that type of criminalization, which means it essentially non-unique to the entirety of the garbage argument. But the second framing issue that you have conceded is internalized racism outweighs your argument that your argument is that there's no solvency for this, but we've extended the paying 14 evidence that you're going to solve internalized racism, but rather you can get rid of the tool that is used to explicate internalized racism. Now the framing argument here for the entire case debate is that policing ourselves is a prior question to that policing ourselves. The example here given was that we will never focus on how these communities are already over-criminalized when we hate each other. When I'm so worried about killing my brother, I won't care if the cops kill him himself, which means solving internalized racism is a framing issue to the debate, and a reason why the Wilson 90 evidence is indicative of how we have to have that prior question extend. The plan says we solve it, or we mitigate internalized racism by getting a national event. The good 15 evidence is very good. That does go from Indiana to Chicago. Now on the substitution argument, there's a big issue you conceded. Poor people that are in the ghetto can substitute to a long gun. So even if you say that white people will get long guns, it doesn't mean that more black on black crime will increase, which means if we have risk of solving internalized racism, which is our paying 14 evidence by getting rid of the handgun and black on black communities, and there won't be long guns in those communities, so you can't freaking afford them, which is the reason that doesn't solve. Second of all, you conceded the long guns are more conceivable, which is an innovative, which is the reason why you don't solve the unit. The framing issue on the case debate is this debate is about who stopped 18 black guns, who can stop black on black crime. You have not shown how things get worse because you've conceded internalization of our ways, and you can see the poor people just get substituted for things. Case made is a wash. Finally, it's in the 314 evidence. We have to table policies. We didn't go for any of your accuracy. So as long as we show no link to this side, it's all. This side. I'm a critique debater, but I know that a design needs some damn uniqueness. The new cards you read were from April 4th. Guess what? Our cards were from April 10th, which means you can extend the LA Times evidence that indicates that you're linking 4 out of 5 1 evidence because there's a broker convention, which means you said Trump will win the grand election from that was from April 5th, argument from April 10th. There will be a broker convention because Cruz is getting more delegates. That's that reason. When you say Trump will cause Trump's bad week will cause an election again. This was from April 3rd and April 10th analysis said that yes it will because he lost more delegates within that span from April 3rd to April 10th, which is more united for a broker convention. Now on the uniqueness evidence, you say again the framing issue is that this uniqueness evidence is contextual to Hillary's overall popularity, but not to her black popularity, which is why the cross application of the Atlanta card is so good on this question because even if she increases 10 points, the black community will never vote for Trump. All of your inherency arguments you conceded indicates that they wouldn't want to vote for Trump, and the card says that they never voted for Republicans since Richard Nixon, which is a reason why we have historical analysis. Finally, you say demographics mixing, whereas your card literally says demographics must shift 3 percentage points to Republicans. You had none of your evidence indicates that Latinos or black people will shift 3 percentage points, giving on specificity. You have not one. Finally, you say numbers can change. Again, our later argument says that the black vote will never go for him because the broker convention. I'm not a disadvocate, but all your shit is from like a week ago. We're from yesterday.